I speak for Union movement. We stand for a change in this country. For that reason, we are either abused or boycotted by those who want to keep things as they are. The financiers, the vested interests, and the old parties who serve them hate our movement and use their money power to destroy us. They control, directly or indirectly, the press, the cinema, and the radio. That is why you hear nothing of union movement except silly abuse, which has no relation to truth. Now, what is their case against us? And what is the truth? They attack us for our policy in the last war, when they imprisoned us without trial in order to stop our mouths. They have never been able even to suggest that we did anything against our country. We were patriots who had fought in the previous war. I fought in the 1914 war in Flanders, both in the air. But we were determined to save the new generation from another unnecessary war, which would bring even greater disaster to mankind. They imprisoned us because they feared we would persuade the people to make peace. But were we not right? Are we not now proved to have been right? What good has that war done to anyone? Is anyone better off in the long run? If anyone thinks so, let him look at the present state of Britain. As a result of that war, we have lost the empire. India gone, Burma gone, Ceylon gone, Ireland and South Africa on their way out, Canada drawn under the power of the almighty dollar, and Australia and New Zealand threatened by the same influence, while communist bands are organized from Moscow to attack us throughout the East. The Labour Party used to say we would be better off without the empire, and they would liquidate it. Well, they and the Tories have done it now. Their war did it. Are we better off? Now, what of our trade and financial position? In old days, we not only paid our way, but the whole world owed us money. Now we have a trade deficit because we lost our old markets and ruined our industrial position during an unnecessary war. So we live on the American dole. Proud Britain has to go cap in hand to America to beg her livelihood and ask for protection from the new communist menace in Europe, because the war against Germany has left us too weak to defend ourselves. That comes of fighting our brothers in order to help our enemies. And what of this new Bolshevik menace from communist Russia? That danger too was created by the last war. The Soviets could never have been a threat to Europe until we combined with the Russians and Americans to get Germany down. Most of you will now agree with me when I say that it would have been better to face the Russians with the Germans in front of you than with the Americans behind you. The war we opposed has landed Britain in the biggest mess, and Europe and us all in the greatest danger our history has ever known. You can now judge the results for yourselves. And I ask you whether we were wrong after all to have opposed that war. My friends, there is nothing in my life of which I am so proud as having suffered at that time for a great belief. And you may yet be glad that there are some Englishmen who are known throughout the world to have on their hands no blood from the Brothers' War. So much for the past. Let us look at the future. What is the policy of Union movement? What do we propose for your judgment and decision? We seek only to serve you, the people. We can do nothing without your support and enthusiasm, nor would we if we could. All the talk about dictatorship is sheer nonsense. No one can rule a great and highly educated people against their will. No one can do anything worth doing without the love of the people, which is only given to those who serve them with high ideals, wisdom, and courage. Let me tell you what we want to do. Then you can decide if it is right.
Okay.
We say, Europe description of what we mean. The union of the European peoples as a united nation, just as much a united nation as the union of England, Scotland, and Wales to form the United Nation of Great Britain. If we do not have true union, we shall still have national intrigues and divisions. The world has ever yet seen. It can be done, too, without war or oppression of other peoples. If 270 million Europeans unite, they will be the greatest power on earth. Who can resist us when we ask for right and justice, and who will? If we then demand the return of the eastern lands of Europe, which have been stolen by Russia against the will of these oppressed peoples, the Soviets will give them back all right, without any question of a war. Why, the Germans alone were too much for Soviet Russia, until Britain, France, America, and the rest of the world united to save the Russians, and the Soviets will never forget it. Russia will never challenge the united strength of Europe, and if she attacked us, she would have to reckon with America as well. To make sure of peace and justice, all we have to do is to unite. Union brings strength, union brings peace, union means Europe a nation. But in our strength we shall not attack or oppress other people. In our development of Africa, there will be a fair deal for the Negroes. Why, white men will develop the east and south of Africa, which is very suitable for them. The Negroes will have for themselves the rich lands of the tropical center, which are suitable to them, but not to us. In the north, we shall, of course, respect Arab rights and cooperate with them. In this way, all the peoples will be free to develop their own lands and their own cultures. We shall help each other, but not mix with each other. Unless we are similar peoples of the same big family like we Europeans, our natural mixtures lead always to strife and oppression. We will therefore be friends with all, but live only in our own family, and that family is Europe. Our aim is Europe a nation. Our creed is European socialism. This is the coming brotherhood of the European. All shall serve each other within that brotherhood, but none shall exploit. Reward shall go only to the service of each for all. My friends, you can begin now to serve our people, our country, and our brother Europeans. Enter the ranks of our movement and begin this great service. You will find men and women who have given all for this cause, who have suffered abuse, ruin, and imprisonment, who have lived dedicated lives for a great belief. You will have the same spirit if you belong to the best of the British. Come to our brotherhood and strive for the coming victory. The days of defeat and disaster are behind. The hard and testing days of struggle for the very life and soul of our country of Europe lie ahead. We need you. Come to us. I stretch out my hand to you, my old and my new companions. Together we will yet save the lands we love. Together we will build as a great reality the world of which men have dreamed.